And welcome back to our streaming channel. Welcome back to all the viewers who stayed here in the break. And yeah, let's see what happens now. We have the last match for today. It's AST01 against StB. Both teams are in the group C. And let's have a look at the Group C at the moment. StB is leading with 1 win and 2 points. Yeah, GER and AST are not played yet, but yeah, you see they have GER in their group, so they had a hard opponent, and yeah, I would say they have a safe place for the next round here. So because GER is really strong, and yeah. I'm not saying that because I know a few guys of GER. They have really big skill and they train a lot with Russian teams and they know a lot of the Russian teams. So I think they're really good at what they're doing. So yeah, I will say the other three teams are playing for the second place in their group. So yeah. Yeah, I'm a little bit a GER fanboy, of course, because the guys are really cool here, and yeah, I like them very much. They're really cool. They're cool guys, and yeah, let's see. That's the first game for the guys from AST01. Or no, it's not the first game. They had a game already today. Yeah, it was an hour before that we streamed the BRS match, and AST was playing against Turk-X, but I don't know how they played or what was going on. And the second team from Pool C will play against the 6. So yeah, guys, try to get to the second place, because then you will play against the 6 and you have a really good chance to come to the next round. No, just kidding, Kadu. I love you, boy. Yeah, let's see. The teams are already in their TeamSpeak rooms. The plane is picked, and I think that will be the P40E1. And 3 guys here from AST01, and only one guy is left. All of them are going for the P40, I think. Yeah, let's see. Dracomil is the main arbiter of this. Of this match, and they're the last guys of AST0-0, 0-0, yeah, 0-1, sorry. And I don't know what Aster is. What is Aster in German? Aster? What does mean Aster? Or what does Aster mean? Love you to Aster, I saw your photo. Yeah, no, guys, don't hate against Sky Veterans. We also have Sky Veterans arbiter here. That's I think Spirit, but he's offline. So yeah, let's see. Yeah, what is about Zerbah to come ask to come to our stream? That would be cool. And we are waiting for ready up. And yeah, I think there are a few things to say in the chat. So let's wait for that. 4 guys left here, but I think we can start soon. And maybe Zerbah is coming to our channel in a few minutes. That would be really cool. Yeah, and the first game is the game is starting. Zerbah are not allowed to join the game because it's a game of his own group. But we will discuss that if he is here. So
User joined your channel.
and there he is. Hey Zerbah, welcome to our channel.
Oh, hello everyone.
How are you today?
A little bit tired. I had I've been on 6 matches today as an arbiter, starting from 8 a.m. Moscow time till now. I just had my last match last hour.
Yeah,
but and I also managed to train in between.
Do you know how AST01 played against here the other guys, Turkics?
The Turks.
Yeah. Do you know how they played? Or what was the end of the result of the match?
The result was AST01 5-1.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, for us it's very interesting because it's our group. So this match is also very interesting because right now AST and StB, they have 1 win against the Turks, and we are the team that's going to play with them tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock CET.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so
we play with them tomorrow morning, and then we play in the evening against the Turks, and on Monday we play with StB. We didn't have any match yet in our group, so we are a little bit of a wild card.
So the team who wins this match now here, AST versus StB, will get the second place in your group, or?
Yeah, they will definitely have a place that leads them to the next stage. So I wish them all good luck, and we'll see. Maybe we can do the same as with the last group stage. Win 3 matches in 2 days. If this happens, it's going to be good for us. But of course, this is not the first stage, so some teams here are much more serious.
Yeah, and there we see Multi-Paradox from AST was shut down at 1 minute and 12 seconds, and Leobite was also shut down at 1 minute and 23 seconds. So is it a draw? So
yeah, probably.
Yeah, we didn't see that because we are on Haichi here, fighting against Aku Wenger. Oh, it's so hard to pronounce those names sometimes. And yeah, and another guy from AST was shut down by a member of StB, but also Yednos was shut down. So at the moment it's 1-1, and there we have a crash on our lane. So I think that will be a draw.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know you can't go to the matches because it's not allowed for to arbit on your own group.
Yeah, it will be right because we are in the same group, and yeah, I can watch the stream, but I shouldn't be there in the lobby. It's not allowed.
Ah, okay. Yeah, Kato Videos in the stream asked me or said to me I should ask you if you are excited. If you go to first place in your group, you will fight against the 6. And the six are the guys who gets us out of this tournament.
Well, I cannot say. I wouldn't go that far away, but if we get to fight the 6th, it's going to be a little bit unfortunate because they are basically, well, we are the same nation, and yeah, they're our team and their team is basically the last two teams from Serbia and countries in the region who are fighting in this tournament. So yeah, we wouldn't really like to fight them, but if this happens, let the best man win.
Yeah, that's the same like
Best
three.
team win.
That's the same like three German teams in one group in group stage one. That's also the same. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. We have to be neutral normally, but when German teams are playing, we have our favor, and so yeah.
Of course,
I,
it's in the end it's a game and it's a competitive tournament. We are basically all in good relations between each other. Many of the teams practice together, and there are guys who we practice with that say, "Okay, we don't want to see you before the finals," and we say the same to them and stuff like that. But still, we practice together. We are like, I think the tournament, it shouldn't be just competitive thing. It should be a thing to build up friendships. I know I have built friendships with many different squadrons while in tournament, just as an arbiter.
yeah, and you're the nearest person to the teams every time, so you talk to them. You are the guy who managed their match, so. And you said I don't know, a few days ago you said you're always hoping that your team wins because you're with them and you talk to them and you see them flying.
Yes, of course. Every time when your team is playing, when you're sitting with them, you actually feel their emotions. So it's very hard when your team is losing. Well, the team that you're sitting with as an arbiter, you always have some sympathies for the team who is playing, in your team speak. And yeah, it's sometimes it's very hard. It's especially hard when you spend like 5 games in a row, and all teams that you've been an arbiter for lose their game. It's really depressing. But on the other hand, when teams are winning, it's also very enjoyable because they're happy and you get happy also because these emotions they flow through the tournament.
Normally you had a game today, or you. I thought a few days ago there was an announcement that you
We should have had a game on a Friday evening,
yeah.
but this game was rescheduled for tomorrow morning because it was bad timing for both teams. So we rescheduled it, and now we play it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and here on the stream we see that Yippee already get some critical hits on his plane. We are in the additional round of the 1 versus 1, and Red Water is in a better position now. He gets him in the head-on after the pass. Yeah, gives him some shots, and both wings are damaged, and yeah, I think he turns really bad now. Yeah, it was really funny today because Dutchke was on work and he was all the whole time in our stream. So, and here Yippee goes down, so it's a win for AST01. Yeah, and Dutchke was the whole day
That's an interesting moment.
Was the whole day in our stream and rode a little bit. That was funny. I get him for the first match today, but he just watched over the stream because he couldn't play at work.
Yeah, exactly. Well, this is the problem that um, because basically in our team, most of the guys who play, it's a little bit of a mixed bag. Some of us are basically older guys, like 30 and more, and some of the guys are pretty young, and it's very hard to put together a team who is playing together and has the time to play and train at the same time.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The younger guys have to be in bed very early, and the older ones doesn't have the
Well,
time.
the younger guys, they have the younger guys, they have girlfriends. They want to go out. They have school or university, and the older guys, they have families. They have work. Some of us work at home. Some of us work in hospitals, like Dutch, and so it's. You wouldn't want to come to your doctor and say, okay, doctor, I need you to help me, and he's playing War Thunder. This doesn't work.
Yeah, of course.
It's actually amazing that he can be on speak sometimes, but he's working a long shift, and during the night he can, when there's nothing happening, thank God, he can come and talk to us.
Yeah, I talked with him for a while today, and he said normally he puts the graphic card of his computer and put it into the computer of his on his workplace, and then he plays War Thunder. But one time he crashed his video card.
Yeah.
Yeah, that are
Well,
cool stories. Of course.
Dutchke is really dedicated to his work and to his gaming.
Yeah, and we are waiting here for the second round. With Zerbah here on our stream, the main arbiter of the tournament, or one of the main arbiters. For me, he is the one and only main arbiter. Yeah, it's cool to have you here.
Well, actually, I don't know if you know the story of the Gladiator tournament. I can put some, I can explain how we get this far. And basically, the original idea of this tournament is, well, it's an idea which was introduced by Obilic while they were playing an IL-2, the old game, IL-2 Sturmovik. And since then, this kind of tournament, the 6 versus 6, has been implemented in a couple of games, and War Thunder is the last and the newest one that this has been implemented in.
Okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah, well, Obilic is basically the person behind the idea, and the guy who really basically started the whole esports stuff in War Thunder. And many people who play now in this tournament, they have played and they have been really, really good players in other simulators. Many teams who, well, actually the team who won the Russian, well, the Eastern Conference in simulator battles, they fought in other games, and they're like a team put together like more than 10 years ago. So they fly for over 10 years together. And many of the guys who I met here are basically guys who fly a lot, and they usually fly simulator battles. And only War Thunder, this mode of Gladiator tournament, was implemented in realistic battles. Because everybody thought that it wouldn't be possible to do such tournament in realistic battles, but Obilic proved them wrong.
Yeah, and it's really cool. We are, I had to say, we are not streaming these simulator battles at the moment, because we saw the schedule and thought, oh yeah, realistic battle is really, really much, and there are really much battles, and yeah.
Yeah, actually, since realistic battles have such huge fan base right now in this tournament, the next step will be arcade battles. There is currently there are some ideas how the arcade tournaments should work. They're going to be a little bit more simple well, simpler rules, but they're definitely going to be implemented, I think, next year. So I think the audience will broaden, and hopefully more people will get into these tournaments. Also, there will be an automated tournament if somebody had the chance to see the dev server for patch 1.45. They could see that there's already in events an automated 2 versus 2 tournament scheduled for the next patch.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't have another player for
It
trying
really doesn't work right now, but it will work when the patch goes live. And we tested this. We even tested not only in realistic mode, but we tested with guys who entered with simulator controls into this tournament, and it plays really interesting. It's an interesting map. It's more of an arcade map. If you, it's the map basically Ash River from the tanks, but without the tanks. So it's 2 versus 2. There's a wide choice of airplanes to play. All legendary airplanes like the Hellcat, Zero, Yak-9, and BF-109, F4 are all there. So it's a very interesting thing, and I think that many squadrons will play this.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. Isn't it the same map like the 4 versus 4 duel map, which comes with the P63A10 present? I don't know, half a
Well,
year.
it's possible. It's this map. It's Ireland map. I think it's called Ireland. It's a map with these hills and
The river.
the river in the middle. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting map. It's sometimes it's very difficult to fly there in realistic mode, but it adds some edge in 2 versus 2. You have to be careful how you fly. Anyways, I think it's going to be very popular.
I'm just asking, the Gladiators tournament at the moment, I thought it will be battle and tournament only for PC players, or am I wrong? Because AST is playing with a PlayStation player.
Well, actually, there is no rule that you cannot play with PlayStation. So yes, of course, if you can play well on PlayStation, why not?
Katu asked, will be able to get research points from that new tournament. I don't know if Zerbah is knowing that, but I will ask him.
Well, there will be a ladder for this tournament. I'm not sure about the research points, but I think you can get research points, and also you will definitely get some silver lions for the tournament. It's probably going to work more or less like the Formula One and the races in the events right now. But on the other hand, this is not about research and about money making, silver lion making in War Thunder. It's more about making War Thunder more esports friendly and more competitive game.
Yeah, and they already announced that they will go to esports next year, and
yeah, exactly.
I hope they look for some streamers.
Well, yeah, one of the things that is definitely lacking right now in the game is actual, marketing support and advertising support for the esports part of the game. The so-called end game in War Thunder right now is like you open the fifth era jets and the tanks and what to do next. So one of the things that we have right now is the Gladiator tournament, but next step is the automated tournament and of course some other tournaments that we will see in the future.
Yeah, that sounds really cool, and I hope Gaijin will do that. Will do that good. So we have more players here on War Thunder, because I think it's a game with a big potential, and yeah, I hope it will go on and we will go for esports.
The game definitely has a big potential, and what we can see in the last couple of months, the new spectator mode, the things that are being added to the tanks and the airplanes, and many other things that are in development and that we haven't even seen, and we cannot even imagine what they are going to be. This game is showing that it's getting more mature, it's getting more serious, and probably it will get to the esports very quickly, because before there was a lot of things in development, like you had to add more planes, more tanks, more content, just user content. And now the developers can focus more on the game process itself. So I believe that we will see some big changes in battle rating system. We will see some changes in many other things that have problems right now in the game. One of those things is, for instance, you always have this problem in realistic battles when one bomber goes off into the clouds and you cannot find him for a lot of time. So I know that this particular issue is being a fix. They're working on a fix for this issue, so it's not going to be easy being a rogue bomber on a map with clouds.
Yeah, you said it. You also said yeah, the players always want new models and new stuff and like that. And I know I made this D-Day map. I don't know if you know it. For the CDK tournament, but I think
Yeah.
you know it from your job, that it's really hard to create new 3D models and textures, and
Exactly. It takes a lot of time, and there are a lot of bugs involved, and to polish all this stuff, it's very hard. Uh, you well, the thing is that games like this, they're so big, there's so much programming involved, that every time you enter something, usually something else gets broken. So yeah, we can see these bugs sometimes, but I believe by the time that the final release of the game gets close next year, I think that most of the bugs will be polished, and the game will be really very, very good. I played this game for over 2 years, and I can say that what it was in the beginning, like in 2012, and what it is now, it's two completely different games. The scale is just completely different.
yeah, now we are 1 year away from the epic patch 1.3.7, 1.37, and would you prefer the the level system before, or the level system how it is now?
Well, it's hard to say. Well, when I look at it from one side, I think it's more quick to progress in this system if you want a specific plane or a specific tank. Uh, I like the other system in a way that when you open one level, you had like all the airplanes on that level. But I got used to this system, and I don't have a problem with it. Maybe it's a little bit difficult for the newcomers to understand, but when you get into it, for me, it's okay. I have no problem with it.
And how far are you gone in your level process? Are you already finished all the planes, or are there some nations you...
I have one plane left. It's the Kitsuka, or in Japanese tree. I have all other planes in the game, and I still don't have all the tanks in the game. I'm opening the level 5 tanks. I have one level 5 tank in the Soviet tree, and I'm still opening the Yak Tiger in German tree, and I don't have other level 5 tanks in German tree because I don't play tanks that much. But there's still time. I have to say it was a really long journey, to open all the planes. I play a lot, and I play with premium, and yeah, there's a lot of work there. But on the other hand, when you have all the planes, you can devote yourself to playing planes that you haven't played before, that you didn't like, and find out what's their use in the game, to find out that you can really play even the worst planes that you thought they were the worst planes, and do something good with them.
You're playing more RB or AB?
I play mostly RB, and sometimes I play a little bit simulator. I'm not very good at simulator right now. Arcade battles I play when I just want to have some mindless fun. I used to play arcade battles in the beginning, of course, but now I play mostly realistic battles, and I play high tier games.
Okay. So high tier games are tier 5 or tier 4?
Tier 4, tier 5, late tier 4, and tier 5. I don't like the last jets like the Sabre and the MiG-15. I like the the jets who are somewhere in the middle or in the beginning of jet era. And I like to play level 4 airplanes because they're really powerful. Although they also play against jets sometimes, they can bring you a lot of joy if you know how to fly them.
Yeah, and I don't know how to fly them. That's the problem. Why?
Well, I didn't know how to fly them also, but it's just practice. You just take one plane and fly it until you get to know it. Of course, I have my favorite planes, but this every guy has his planes that he likes and dislikes, so I think it's okay.
If you had the chance to change one plane in this tournament, which one would you take out, and which one would you take in? And by the way,
Oh,
AST has given away the win because they lost now the 4 versus 4, and now we have 3 on both sides, so they have to
well,
draw the last round. But yeah,
well.
let's come back.
Okay. If I would change one of the airplanes, that would probably be. That's a good question.
The MC200.
No, I actually like MC200.
Oh, okay.
Well, I would change a plane from the Group C, and that would probably be a Spitfire. Let me explain why. Spitfire is a great plane, but this plane is how to say? I would say that it is too powerful for this kind of tournament because basically most of the teams, even the teams who do not play very well, can kill easily with this plane because it's such a good plane. So I would probably swap the Spitfire for something in the same league, maybe for Typhoon, Typhoon 1B. Why not?
Oh, okay.
Or something like this. I'm talking, of course, for the RB because in simulator it's a completely different story. But yeah, why not?
Yeah, that's a really cool answer. That's what we saw in the last game. There was also a Spitfire. I don't know if you were orbiting there.
Yeah, you could see how Spitfire is. It's very easy to just take out planes. That's why many people don't like the MC200 or the KI61 or the BF109 F2. But these planes are actually more interesting to play because they do not kill the opponents immediately. You have to fly very well, and you have to keep your opponents, in your sights to kill them.
Yeah, but on the other side, if you play a plane like the Yak-1B, and I don't know if you remember that match that we were playing with TFDX against, I think, Stalag 13, where all my guys were shot down, and I was the only one who lasts, and I'm running out of ammo, and just flew behind my opponent and wait until his engine was dying. And you played Eye of the Tiger, yeah? That was that match. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I remember that match.
I didn't saw that many times on the tournament. I think I was the only guy who was running out of ammo at the whole tournament. And so.
Well, actually, it's pretty easy to run out of ammo on Yak-1B. It depends on how you. Well, when I know because I like this airplane. Sometimes it happens like this, that when you see your enemy in front of you, you want to finish him off as quickly as possible, and you just press the button and hold it until he's dead. And if you're not shooting very straight, sometimes you can easily spend a lot of ammo on him.
Yeah, and Dutchke is spamming on the chat that he wants the Typhoon into the tournament, so.
Yeah, I really like the Typhoon. It's a much more heavy plane than the Spitfire. It has incredible armament. That might be a problem, because it's not interesting when you watch a match when the guys come together and everybody's dead like in 10 seconds. Nobody's left. So maybe not the Typhoon 1B, maybe Typhoon A. It has a lot of machine guns, not cannons. So it would be interesting to fly. Like there was a Hurricane in one of the previous tournaments. It was also an interesting airplane to fly because it has not that much ammo, and it's very maneuverable, but it's very slow also. So it's a difficult airplane to fly. The same more or less can be said for the leg, although leg has very good armament.
Did you see the lag in the tournaments? In the tournament, or is there a plane?
Yes, of course.
Is there any plane you didn't see in the tournament till now?
Well, the airplanes that do not show that often are definitely the LA5 and the Spitfire and the Air Cobra. They are very the most popular plane, of course. It's especially in the Russian tournament, it's the Yak-1B. It's actually the best plane in the whole set. It's a really an airplane for this kind of duels. It's fast. It's very maneuverable. It has great armament, and if you know how to fly it, sky's the limit. It's very good plane. I also like the BF109 because BF109 it's a little bit more difficult airplane to fly. It has a little bit more. It's not as maneuverable as Yak, and it has a little bit strange armament, but you know it's an energy fighter and it plays completely different of all the airplanes I think of the lot. Well, other airplanes lag is interesting because of its armament, but it's a very heavy airplane. The P-40 is very stable when it fires, but it has a very heavy nose and it's very hard to do stuff that you do usually with the Yak, for instance, in a P-40. The MC-200 flies very nicely, but it has a crap armament.
Yeah, of course it has. We always know that when the MC200 is showing up in the plane draft, we know that it will be a long match. And
Well, yeah, it's a little bit. There's a little bit of randomness in the MC200. The same is can be said for the Ki 61. The Ki 61, it's a beautiful plane, but it can be difficult at times. You know, in the turns, you can lose your energy very quickly, and if the other team knows how to play on energy, they can, you know, get you very fast. As for the other planes, the C group, as I said, Spitfire is so easy to fly that even the worst teams usually can surprise the best teams with it. But again, it has a low roll rate. It flies very good. It turns very good with or without the flaps. As for LA5, LA5 is also an energy fighter. It's you need to keep your speed up, and it has crazy armament which can cut you in half like with no problem. As for Air Cobra, yeah, the 37mm gun, which is great. But the Air Cobra flies very strange. It has a different center of mass. The flaps work in a different way than on other planes, and yeah, it has a great armament, but it's not an easy airplane to fly.
yeah, we started already the last game. I hope it's the last game because it's the
Okay.
additional round, the 2 versus 2. Yeah,
Okay.
and let's see what happens there. RGM was set on fire by P.G.A in the head-on, so there is a 1-on-2 on the one lane, on the lane D. So, and Akko Wenger already got some smoke behind him. And yeah, and there's another question for you. What was your best moment in the tournament? And by the way, they are talking about my name here in the chat because I don't know what it is about the C from Dutchke. What it is called in English, but I think you know what I mean. And now they are all calling me Dutchko instead of instead of Tacko.
Okay, just they're pronouncing your name like it's read in Serbian, and yeah, they're making a little fun of it, but it's okay because Tachka in Serbian it's a dot. So
Oh, okay.
maybe something like this. I don't read Twitch right now, so I cannot tell what's going on.
Ah, you didn't watch the stream. That's cool. You don't want to
No,
see your enemies?
no, I can watch the stream and I can see my enemies, but I don't know. We have, I believe, at least two pairs of eyes who is watching the streams, and I don't know. I like to see my opponents, in game. I don't like to analyze everything on the stream.
Ah, okay. So,
I watch the game all the time, so
yeah, that's
I
right. Yeah.
basically
Um,
know all the.
what was your best moment as arbiter here on the tournament till the day?
One of the best moments that
By
you
the
want to
way,
know about Western or Eastern or all the tournaments that I've been on.
all the tournaments. But by the way, we have a
Well,
draw in the 2 versus 2 here, so we had an additional flyout. So
oh
yeah,
my
go on.
god. Okay, so one of the best moments that I had, well, that I can talk about right now, was actually on the Eastern Conference when two great squadrons were playing, two great Russian squadrons. The Aces and the Wild Spirits were playing against each other, and both teams are very strong. And this was basically for the entering the semifinals. So the team who is entering would be in the four best teams in the Eastern Conference, and it was a very difficult match for both teams because both were very good, and Aces started very good. I was sitting with the guys from Wild Spirit, and the Aces started very good. They were leading 3-0. After there was 1 versus 1, then there was another round, another flyout on 1 versus 1, and then it was 2 versus 2, and another flyout on 2 versus 2. And after that, it's very hard, to put yourself together. And the guys from Wild Spirit, they were really, they were starting, they were accusing each other about what was the problem. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? And I was just listening to them, and I was like feeling really sorry for them because they're really good guys. And that wasn't our first match that I was their arbiter. And I said to them, okay, guys, like forget what was in before in this match. Forget everything. Just keep calm. Take a break. They took like a 5-minute break to figure out what to do. And I said, okay, you take a break, figure out what you want to do in 4 versus 4, and just go in there and do the best you can. And they just like stopped talking for like a minute, and then they said like, okay, thank you. You just made us more relaxed, and they actually went there. They won 4v4, and then they won the match 4 versus 3. Well, 4-3, and they actually got the third place in the Eastern tournament. And the biggest surprise for me was that these guys, one of them lived in Moscow, and I was there on the finals, and the other guy came for, I think it was like 400 or 500 kilometers from Moscow. He came to Moscow specially to thank me for this because he knew I was going to be there, and it was a really like a very emotional moment. These guys came, and they were like thanking me for the third place in the tournament, because if I didn't say anything to them, they wouldn't get, they would be calm and they couldn't win that match.
Yeah, that was one of the matches where you said you're happy to be an arbiter.
Yes, exactly. This is what the matches like this. It's you really want, and also the matches when you're sitting with a team and this is an underdog team. They're probably weaker than the team who they play against, and when they win, it's like a really cool thing. You just you feel like something special has happened. I also really liked. I was on every match of basically on every match with Sky Veterans, and except the match when they played against Fufu, because I didn't want to. I'm in good relations with Sky Veterans and Fufu, and I didn't want to mess up this because they really don't like each other. And it was funny to see how the team they started their tournament like having fun, and they were not serious, and then in the second group stage they lost one match, and then they got more serious, and you could see the team really evolve through the tournament from these guys who are not taking anything serious to the guys who are like the best of the best, and not very not many teams have this in them.
So Sky Veterans was an underdog team.
No, these guys they're one of the best teams, but many teams they get cocky in the beginning of the tournament, especially if they won the last tournament, like the Sky Veterans. So they were not taking things seriously, and then they lost one game, and I know it was hard on them, but they could pull themselves together, and it's like in the movies, like the Rocky Balboa movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rocky is the best, of course. He's he's a great boxer and everything, but then comes a challenger who brings him down, and then he has to get back and show everyone that he can do it. And it was really satisfying seeing these guys in Moscow. They actually never went. Most of them never left their home cities before, and they were there with their parents, and their parents were talking to me because I'm like more of the age of their parents than them. And their parents were like asking me if their parents, parents, they don't see this as a serious thing, playing War Thunder, winning the tournament, stuff like this. But when they see it, when the LAN finals come in, then of course for them it's a shock.
Yeah, I know what you mean. That I had the same thing with my making my D-Day map. And by the way, we are in a really interesting part of the match, and now it's over. Yeah, of course, SCP will win this match. First of all, it was a 2 versus 2, then two guys, one of each team, crashed, and then at the end it was a 1 versus 1 between Multi Paradox and Yerdnas, and finally Yerdnas wins this match. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's the same like my I'm doing my D-Day map, and I was sitting in my room for days and days and just working on my D-Day map because I want that win of the CDK contest so much. And my parents didn't get serious with that. And yeah, after all, I won that, and I showed them that I got $500 for that. They said, "Oh, yeah, cool." But
Yeah, parents are like that, I make living doing computer graphics, and when I started doing this like 20 or more years ago, computer graphics were nowhere in sight, and my parents were talking to me like, you're never going to make the living out of it. So yeah, and now basically I make more money on this than they ever had. But the funny thing is that you have to do what you want to do, what you believe in, what you love, and if you're any good at it, you will have success. Just keep following your dreams.
yeah, and that's a good sentence for finishing our um, yeah, our stream for today. We had Zerbah here for some small talk for the last game. Yeah, it was nice to have you here, Zerbah.
Yeah, I'm usually not available, usually in the game with the guys, but thankfully today I had a little bit of a break, and yeah, we I think we will see each other maybe in a later games when all arbiters come to the finals. So maybe I can comment on some game, or I will be in one of those games. Who knows?
Yeah, of course, and we get you in an interview after you are winning the final with GER.
Oh well, I wouldn't go that far, but okay, I won't be against it.
Yeah, there were many favorite teams that lost this week. So
Yeah, it was a really surprising week. I was really surprised by the results of some of the matches.
yeah, also the match today with TFD, they lost also with 0-6.
Yeah,
That was really
mm.
surprising, and
Yeah, it was really surprising for me, but I can say that it's not completely the problem with TFD. It's there are different problems there. The problem with the connection between Europe and China and servers, and these are the things that we will try and improve in the future, or we will maybe separate different parts of the world so we don't have problems like this anymore, so everybody can play on their favorite servers and with the ping and the connection that is optimal for them.
yeah, the most time of that, that's a real problem for the players.
It's a problem for the players. It's a problem for arbiters because sometimes you hear from the US and team from Europe, and the guys from US have problems on the European server and vice versa, and everybody wants to play on their local server, and then you have to, you know, it's a big responsibility for arbiters because arbiters choose the server based on the locations of the teams, and sometimes it's very hard to find a compromise that suits everybody. So yeah, probably this will be fixed again in the future, but unfortunately on this tournament we didn't have um, the possibility to do it. So every tournament that we do, it's a step closer to the so-called perfect tournament. So practice makes perfect, and probably one of the future tournaments will solve these problems.
Yeah, that would be really cool. So, thank you, Zerbah, for your time, and yeah, goodbye on the
Thank you, Tacko.
goodbye on the stream here. We are out for the day, but tomorrow I think we will be online here when GER is playing because we are all GER fanboys. And yeah,
Thank you.
good night, guys. Let's yeah, turn off. Bye.
Good night.